What is up, people? We are here with the MMA Mainstream Podcast. I'm James with co-host Kaelyn. Kaelyn, how was your week?
Oh, I've been sick all week, so it wasn't that
Well, that's
great.
no bueno. That's
Yeah.
no good. Well, hopefully this will make you feel better because we're going to talk
Better now.
about MMA. So let's go ahead and get into it. We had last week's picks from the fight night that had gone on, and I went 3-1, or I got 3 and you got 1. I can't believe it. I'm totally flabbergasted because usually I've been tanking so hard at this
Yeah.
that I can't believe it. Thank you, God. Thank you. So we're gonna go ahead and get into that. Let me bring that up. All right, we have Chris Gutierrez versus Felipe Colares, and you chose Gutierrez. I chose Colares. That's where you got your win because you chose Gutierrez.
The one. Yeah.
The one. That fight went to a split decision. Yeah. Oh man. And then this one we both picked Mazo, and the crazy chick Agapova got the win by submission in the third.
Yeah. So that fight did not go the way I thought it was going to go at all.
Same.
And Sabina is normally a very good striker, very tough, and she didn't seem to have her way like she normally did. I was surprised, but this other girl's really tough, so we'll see what happens next for her.
So note to self, tattoo on the chest, certain sign of toughness. Go with that. Okay, I'll remember that. But we both chose Sabina, and so we were both wrong about that. And then please help me with this name. You know I'm not going to get it right.
Tim Elliott. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I can pronounce that.
It's Matthias Nicolau, I think is
Matthias Nicolau.
Yeah.
I picked Nicolau, and I got the right pick. I chose right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So number 11 over number 9. That's right. Appreciate it, man. Good job getting that win. Hopefully you got a bonus. Oh, no, you went to decision. So maybe you got some type of bonus. And the rest of these fights went to decision, which, man.
Yeah.
It sucks, but I know as a fight fan, as a longtime fight fan, I understand the technical work. But sometimes you can't tell me it doesn't get kind of slow and kind of make you want to fall asleep.
Yeah. And then also these fight cards that aren't as stacked as others doesn't make it much better.
It doesn't help. You're right. It's a lot of, unless you're a super hardcore fight fan from the region that this fighter's from, it is more of a lot of unknowns, which I'm glad that they're bringing up these newer, younger fighters, but there's a lot of unknowns.
Yeah, but also this was a fight night and it was a little bit earlier, so it was
That's
appropriate.
True.
It was appropriate for what they were doing with it, though, I think.
Very true. Randy Brown got the unanimous decision win over Jared Gooden, and Mackenzie Dern lost to Marina Rodriguez. I chose Rodriguez, and I was floored.
Yeah. Oh, wait, you chose Rodriguez?
I chose Rodriguez.
Oh, I thought we both chose Mackenzie Dern.
No.
Yeah, this fight, I know that Marina was a really good striker, but I thought that Mackenzie Dern had recently been doing a lot better with striking. And also, she's great on the ground for sure. But also, I don't know what was up with her strike. I know she's not a striker, but watching this fight, I'm like, what is she doing? Like, her punches were, I know that she was probably just setting up for a takedown, but she wasn't taking her down. Some of them weren't even an attempt to take down, but her punches are very strange. It just looked like it was her first day of striking. And I don't know if that was strategy, because I think maybe she was just trying to set something up. Like maybe she practiced the certain thing that just didn't work out. I think she had better striking in some of her past fights than this one. And this one just happened to be a fight against a striker. So I don't know what happened there. She looked odd, very awkward. It looked not how I thought it was going to look. But Marina Rodriguez is really, really good. So I wonder who she's going to fight next. That's going to be really cool to see.
I haven't seen how far she's gone up in the rankings since she beat Mackenzie Dern, who was ranked number 4.
And I honestly don't know how Mackenzie Dern was up that high, though. I don't know. I know she's good, but I mean, compared to some of the other girls, I'm like, I don't know how she got there in the first place. Maybe I don't remember her past fights either. I don't remember who she beat, but I thought this one was going to be more competitive, but it just drug out for 5 rounds, and with her weird striking, and it did go to the ground too, but it just didn't really work out. But Rodriguez is good all around too. I was a little surprised she was able to defend herself, so good for her. But I was surprised.
It's also interesting to note that we have back-to-back female-led fight nights, seeing as how we had Dern versus Rodriguez, and now as we move on to Norma Dumont versus Aspen Lad. For those who haven't been paying attention at home, Aspen Lad has had some weight-cutting problems, and so she stepped in last minute for this fight, which is also the main event. So she will be competing against Norma Dumont in the main event. But we will start at the bottom of the main card with I'm just going to call him Klein because I can't pronounce that first name. And Nate Landwehr.
Yeah. So this guy, I remember this guy for some reason. I know I don't remember when his last fight was, but I do remember him fighting. I don't know. Maybe he just has a familiar face. Maybe I'm just making this up.
Well, we have Nate with 14-4 and Klein with 17-3. Both fighters coming off losses. Man, Nate's from the United States and the other is from Slovakia. So I feel like Klein has done some crazy stuff when training, if he's trained in Slovakia. Just saying.
Well, I'd probably pick Klein also. He just seems all around a little bit better.
I would too. After seeing the wins by, he has a much more well-rounded game compared to Nate, which I'm curious because he has no wins by submission. Yeah. I am very curious to see his ground game. I imagine it's decent, but I don't, he's not like a Damian Maia.
Yeah, but also these records that they're posting, it's not I don't think it's necessarily a UFC record. I think it's an MMA record. I don't know when this guy got in the UFC. So I don't know.
That's true. And it makes you wonder, what fights do they include in that? Like, do they include fights from certain regions? Like, I've heard of fighters having tons of fights because they competed in Mexico, but yet those aren't allowed on their fight record.
They're not?
For some reason, this or that. I'm not quite sure. It's to each their own as it pertains to that. So, it does make you very curious. But I'm going to go with Klein in this just because when you see this and you see that he is more well-rounded in order to finish a fight, and 6% of his wins have been by decision, that's a very low number. So if he does like to finish the fight, I'm going to choose Klein on this.
Yeah, so am I.
All right. We both choose Klein. All right, moving up the card, we have Myra Buenos Silva versus Manon Fiat.
Yeah, I don't remember who this Manon girl is, but Myra Buenos Silva, I've seen her fight a few times, and she's actually pretty tough. Her. She's pretty tough. She's pretty good. They have looks like almost the same exact record. I'm gonna pick Silva just because I've seen her fight before, and I know she's really tough. I don't remember Manon. I think it might have been a really long time since she's fought too, because I don't remember the last time she's fought. I think I've seen her fight once. It was a long time ago, so I don't know when her last one was. But
I too am also gonna choose Silva because she has the name Shitara, which is kind of dope. Yeah. So why not? No. Wow. When you look at this, Manon, 86% wins by it with only 14% decisions. And then it's the other way with 71% for Silva winning by submission. So that's interesting. This must be Manon's debut because she has no other fight stats.
I don't think it's her debut. I feel like
I've seen her. You don't think so? Did she fight so long ago that they just didn't remember to keep track of it?
I don't know, man. I recognize her last name, though. I do.
All right, well, we both made our decisions in this one. And then we have Jim Miller versus Eric Gonzalez. Ghost Pepper. I heard about this guy just because that's a crazy name, and I like it. I like the crazier the nickname, more likely I'm going to root for you because you have the weirdest nickname.
Yeah, or how about Jim Miller's record, though? I mean, come on.
That's true. Jim Miller, I believe he's in one of the top fives of all-time competitors in the UFC.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, so he has that amount of fights. Half of them are losses, though. I don't know. Jim Miller's really good, though, so I don't know. I'm going to pick Jim Miller because he has super experienced. Eric Gonzalez, I think I've seen fight once, and I don't. Oh, no, it's his debut, I guess. He looks familiar, though. Yeah, so I don't know what they're doing to this Eric Gonzalez guy, though.
Do you think he's just going to be cannon fodder?
I don't know, but he has a good, pretty decent record, though, also.
Yeah, 14-5.
Maybe that's why he's fighting Jim Miller. I don't know. We'll see.
I want to go Gonzalez just because he's younger, and I feel like he's probably very hungry. And then you have Jim Miller, who is essentially on the backside of his career, but yet that experience, you can't beat that much experience, especially competing in UFC. So I will go with Gonzalez anyways. I will take that chance.
Okay.
I'm going to take the chance.
All right.
Then we have the always experienced Andre Arlovsky versus Carlos Felipe. We have 31-20 and 2 no contests versus 11-1. Both fighters coming off wins. Man, we both know the extensive history of Andre Arlovsky. And
I didn't realize he had 20 losses.
Yeah. He's hit the skids for a while.
I know, but he's still tough, and nothing happens to him.
That doesn't take anything away from him. Yeah.
I know, that's crazy. Oh man.
All right. Who do you pick?
Yeah, I'll pick Andre.
You know what? I'm going to do the same. I will go with that.
I didn't know he had
because also if he loses, we're kind of like, oh, well, it is what it is.
Nothing happens.
But I feel like if Carlos is going to get the win, it's going to be early and it's going to be by knockout.
It has to be.
The longer the fight goes, I feel like Arlovsky has the experience advantage in that respect.
Yeah. And he's built a little bit different, and he can move around pretty quickly if he wanted to. A lot of the other guys are, heavy swingers, but I don't, I feel like he moves around a lot more. He might have an advantage against those really big guys who aren't in cardio shape.
And quite as technical.
Yeah, of course.
And then we have Aspen Lad versus Norma Dumont. Lad is ranked 3rd, but had weight problems from previous experiences. She's 9-1 against 6-1. United States versus Brazil.
Oh, hold on. She went up to 140. She was having trouble making 135?
Well, I'm not sure because for Dumont it says 156.
Well, they don't have a 155 division in UFC.
Let me backtrack real quick. This is featherweight. Okay,
it's 145. So Aspen Lad was having trouble making 135. I, for whatever reason, thought she was having trouble making 125.
Well, we just know she has a problem making weight in general. I don't think it really matters what weight class.
Yeah, but I'm just surprised because 135's, for her height. I don't know. She does. The thing is she doesn't look like she's very buff. Maybe so. I feel like she could definitely lose some weight and make the 135. I don't know. I don't know. Because if you take a girl like Cyborg or Holly Holm, they're built. They are built for that.
That's true. Cyborg is very muscular. That's why a lot of people are like, "That's a dude I'd hate to fight."
Yeah. So I'm saying, so it's weird that someone with her stature would not be able to make 135, whatever her issue is. I don't know. But I don't know. I also don't know much about Norma Dumont.
I feel like we've seen her compete before.
Yeah, for sure. I don't
Man.
remember being at 145. I think she was a 135 or.
And Lad is ranked number third. So I'm also.
She's not ranked third in 145.
She's not. Oh, okay. So that was from her previous weight class.
She's not ranked at all for this fight.
Oh, see that UFC. You need to tell me these things.
Yeah, they're weird.
Actually, no. I should have looked that up previously. Oh man.
There's another sheet we can look at for these fighters because this one's kind of out of whack sometimes.
We're gonna have to find something. I'll look during the week and see if we can't come up with something better. I just figure you would think that the official place, the website that they're competing on, would have the best
more
information.
Details, maybe like, hey, she's not ranked number third in this weight class. Maybe don't put that on there. Whatever.
Yeah, very true. All right, so who do you take? Aspen have trouble making weight, Lad, or Norma Dumont?
I wish I knew more about Dumont. I'm gonna pick Dumont.
You gonna pick Dumont?
Yeah.
You know what? I think I'm gonna join you in that.
Aspen Lad's record is 9-1.
Crazy, right?
She lost to. She lost to kickboxer. Man, what is her name? Crap.
I've never heard of. Oh crap.
Nope. Oh man, I totally forgot her name. She's very, very good. She's from I think the Netherlands. Man, what is her name? The one that had the belt and just didn't defend it. She took it from Holly.
No, I'm blanking.
She's.
I know you're talking about.
Kept hitting Holly after the bell in their fight. Do you remember?
Yeah.
What is her name? She's very good. I love her too. God, whatever. But that's who she lost to. Because it was very early. It's a very early knockdown/knockout, and the ref called it. Aspen Lad got mad that he called it so fast, but she was out for at least a second.
Yeah, she was gone. There wasn't like a flash KO.
I'm not mad at that call. That I think it was Herb Dean called it, and she got mad. But I'm like, I don't see that fight going any other way, especially against oh man, what's her name?
When it comes to you,
yeah,
let us know because it happens. We all have those moments where we're like, huh?
Oh, I love that fighter too. She's so cool. She's like a police officer too. She's crazy.
There was a fight that was pulled from the card.
Randleman. God.
Oh, okay.
Jermaine. God.
Yeah, that's a name I haven't heard in a minute.
There you go.
A fight was pulled from the card. We have Julian Marquez versus Jordan Wright. Marquez was pulled from the card because of a non-COVID health issue. Okay. So that did not happen. That's why the Klein fight has been moved to the main card.
Okay.
So that's why we had that pick.
I hate to say this, but this fight card is not stacked either.
It's not. Hopefully, but regardless, hopefully it's exciting. Hopefully we don't just get a ton of decisions. I mean, that does happen in a fight card, but hopefully we get some people that want to go out there and basically think of it like the Contender Series and like, I got to earn my spot or keep my spot.
Man, this sucks. What's up with this boring fight cards 2 weeks in a row, man?
I don't know. Well, they stack the great fight cards for pay-per-views because they want you to buy it.
They have more fighters that they could use.
That's very true. Very true. Moving on, tomorrow is also Bellator as they continue their light heavyweight World Grand Prix. Let's go ahead and start with some more names I can't pronounce. We have Henry Colares versus a Ukrainian name that I am absolutely horrible with. Parchenko? Yaroslav Parchenko.
Yeah.
So we have 18-6 for Colares and 15-2 for Parchenko. I don't know. I mean, those Ukrainians, the dudes from overseas have been coming in here doing quite well.
Yeah.
Who do you pick? I'll let you lead this one.
First of all, I think this Henry guy is coming up in weight because I think this is he's 135. This is a featherweight, so it's 145. But
yeah,
I'll go with the Ukrainian on this one.
You go with the Ukrainian. You know what?
Yeah.
The harder the name, the easier it is to knock out your opponent. All right, I'm going to go with that too. All right, as we move on, we have Benson Henderson, a fight legend in UFC, WEC, and been competing in Bellator. Hasn't done quite as well in Bellator, but is still competing at 28-10 versus Brent Primus, who's 10-2. Man, they must see something in Primus to be like, all right, we're going to throw you in there with somebody who has almost 40 fights, and you only have 12.
Yeah, but I don't know what kind of level Benson's on right now, because
very true.
The end of his UFC career, I was I was like, what happened here, And
then him competing in Bellator has been really off and on.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a Benson Henderson fan from watching him in WEC. He was, man, that guy was fuego. That guy was awesome.
Well, yeah, even in UFC also earlier.
UFC, he did well, but not. He started to hit the skids a little bit, and then they let him go. And in Bellator, it's been really rocky for him. I'd love to see him back to form.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna just pick Henderson.
I'm gonna go with Brent.
You're gonna go with Primus?
Yes.
For those playing at home, Primus is also a band. Just in case you didn't know.
They're so weird, huh?
Yes.
That was a weird thing.
Also, with Benson Henderson, his wife is competing on the prelims. She is 1-0. Don't recall who she's competing against, but one of the few times that we've seen a husband and wife compete on the same card. It's happened quite a few, not quite a few, a couple of times previously.
Couples that are fighters, but it's rare that they're on the same fight card. But also, how stressful is that, though?
Very true.
Who's going to take care of each other? You know what I mean?
Because he's going to go corner her.
Is he?
When he has, you would feel that he would. Depends on where she is on the fight card.
I don't know about that. So that's why it's kind of stressful, but whatever.
Yeah. They do train together, so I imagine he is also involved in her training in some way.
No, he is. Yeah, I've seen some stuff on them. So, yeah, I don't know.
And then we have Ryan Bader versus Corey Anderson.
This is gonna be a good one.
28-6 versus 15-5.
Yeah, but
I like how they have Bader's heavyweight weight at 265.
Oh, this is light heavyweight. Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah. Well, wait, so he has the heavyweight belt, right?
Yes, because Nemkov, who's also on this card, has the light heavyweight belt.
He does?
I believe so.
But this is light heavyweight
Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do like tournaments and stuff like that.
Oh, so that's
you know what? I will research it. How about that?
I don't know. I don't know everything about that. I always thought that's kind of weird. Not weird. I mean, it's cool that they do tournaments. I'm just like, how? I mean, is it a tournament every time for the belt, though? Right?
They compete. I feel like they competed recently.
They did, I think.
Let's see. Let's go to his fight page. That was that. He beat Lyoto Machida in the quarterfinal. Yeah. Okay, so he fought Vadim Nemkov and lost the light heavyweight world championship to him.
Okay.
And August 21st of 2020. So I feel like this could lead to a potential rematch.
Yeah.
For that belt.
That makes sense. Yeah.
All right.
But he has the heavyweight belt, so that makes sense.
But he is currently the heavyweight champion, yes.
Got it. Okay, makes sense. It's getting my weight class mixed up, I think.
Hey, thanks Wikipedia for helping me out real quick and getting that faster than I love Sherdog. Sherdog is to me the source to go to, but Sherdog takes
bullshit on there too, which is kind of funny.
Exactly. So that's why I'm not quick to go to Sherdog when it comes to looking up information faster. But I still love Sherdog. Sherdog's got a special place in my heart. That's where I purchased many of fight DVDs because I couldn't get them anywhere else. Oh yeah, That's for us old school guys out there. That before streaming was a thing.
Yeah.
So who do you take, Ryan Bader or Corey Anderson?
Oh, Ryan Bader.
I too am taking Bader on this.
Kind of like his time right now, I feel like.
Yeah,
but,
it just
Corey Anderson's pretty good too. I
agree
right now.
I feel like if Anderson has the puncher's chance, if he goes in there and can lay hands, he's going to take it. But if it goes the distance, and with Bader, I think he's going to go to his bread and butter and use his wrestling. He's going to take it to the distance, and that's why I think he's going to move on in the World Grand Prix.
Yeah.
And then we have Vadim Nemkov versus Julius Anglicus. I know that's wrong. Pretty sure that's wrong.
Anglicus? Something like that.
Anglicus? We have 14-2 versus the Lithuanian guy versus 10-1. I'm going Nemkov. Nemkov's the champ.
Yeah, me
He's
too.
a bad dude.
He is, yeah.
So that was easy peasy, lemon squeezy for us. Those are our picks for Bellator. That's coming up this weekend. I believe it'll be available on Showtime. So for fight fans out there, you got 2 eventful events that are going to be taking place. And then I already mentioned that Benson Henderson and his wife are also competing on the same card, which is interesting. And then back to female MMA. Dana White thinks it's a bad call for former strawweight champion Carla Esparza to wait for a title shot.
Well, maybe.
I think that's interesting because she is the number 1 contender. She has a valid, reason to be, hey, I want my title fight. And why shouldn't they plan for her? She's number 1.
They can. I just wonder if he's saying that because he doesn't plan on making that fight for a long time. Maybe he's just trying to give her some advice like, hey, maybe you won't get paid for a while if that's what you're going to do. Not that she doesn't deserve it, but it's like he might not plan on giving them that fight very soon.
Well, that's no bueno. That's no bueno on Dana White's part because she is a number 1 contender. She should be competing for said title.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get to rapping. Let's make it happen.
Well, hold on. Yeah. But I do support Zhang Weili having her rematch, though. So I. Yeah.
So do you think Esparza should have basically a tune-up fight?
No, she
not a
doesn't.
tune-up. I shouldn't say a tune-up fight. Basically, who would you do? Would you have her compete against somebody who's high level and the chance for her to lose that number 1 contendership?
Well, she knows.
Or do you have her fight against, hey, look, a debuter?
No.
What do you do? It's really a catch-22.
Well, I just think that Zhang Weili and Namajunas definitely needs to happen for sure. I'm not against that at all. I just don't know how fast the turnaround will be after that fight for Carla Esparza to have her fight. That's the only thing, and I don't know if that's what he's referring to, unless there's some other issue that he knows about that nobody else does. But
very well could be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Dana White is kind of an ass sometimes, but I just wonder if he knows how long it will be. Maybe he has an idea that it's going to be a very long time, and maybe he thinks she should be active. But I don't know who she would fight, though, because it's unnecessary at this point,
Very true.
I also don't have very much confidence in Carla Esparza beating Rose Namajunas or Zhang Weili.
I could see that, but I think with her wrestling game, she does. Her wrestling game is, I've referred to it before, is a bread and butter. So I think if she really utilize that against them.
So I'm referring back to her fight with Joanna when she first came off of the Ultimate Fighter with that belt. She is the wrestler, and you saw what happened.
Got floored.
You saw what happened to her against a striker. And both these girls are great strikers, so she does
very true.
Favors. So I would not count on her wrestling to take any of these girls down. Plus Rose is a beast on the ground too. But I don't know. I I just don't think she'll win against either of those two girls.
So you feel like it's basically only for the short term that she's number one contender.
I almost don't care that she's the number one contender right now because I don't see her getting past that. I could be wrong, but that's my opinion right now. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah. Well,
I definitely want to know how this next fight is going to go with Rose, though. That's going to be crazy.
Hopefully something positive happens for Carla, and Dana White will figure it out because he is the man with the master plan.
I just feel like she may fight the loser of this fight.
Well, if she does, that would still keep her within contention. So we'll see. All right. So recently in MMA news, we have seen a lot of situations involving domestic violence, unfortunately. We have Luis Pena, who was arrested and let go from the UFC. We have Jon Jones, who was arrested, not let go from the UFC, has been banned from his training facility. So he is no longer training, at least for the time being, at Jackson Winklejohn. And then we have Chuck Liddell, who has come out and said that it was not him, he was a victim of the situation.
Yeah, weird.
But it's crazy how much of this is coming out, and there's a lot of mental health that's involved in this because Pena suffers from mental health issues. We are learning that I believe it's Chuck Liddell's significant other who is suffering from mental health issues. I'm not sure exactly why he went and got arrested, like why he took essentially the fall.
Well, I think a lot of times that happens, whether he was in the fault or not, they have to arrest somebody. They have to separate you for the night. At least someone has to get arrested and go to jail for a certain amount of time.
So you felt like he was like, you know what? You stay here, I'll go.
I don't know if that was, who knows what that situation was, but I think a lot of times the dude is going to get arrested instead, whether he voluntarily got arrested saying, hey, take me instead, or the cops just do it anyway. To be honest, I've heard a lot of that. So okay. I think, who knows, dude? But the whole thing with Luis Pena, I had no idea. I really didn't pay attention very much. I saw that he did get arrested before for something like this, but I didn't know the details or anything like that. But I do know Dana White said that he knew about his problem and that he's actually was actively getting help for it, and the UFC was helping him get that help. So I think that's why
that's tremendous. That's great.
I think that's why they let him go, because they were helping him and it still didn't help. You know what I mean? I don't know what kind of money they're putting out for that, but it didn't help. So I think that's why.
But let's be real. Let's be honest. They let him go. What about Jon Jones, who's had a consistent record of being in bad situations, and yet they're going to keep him? Let's be honest. He's a cash cow.
Well, that, but also I don't know if UFC's ever tried to help Jon Jones with anything as far as getting help on stuff. I feel like maybe the UFC actually put up some financial stuff for Luis Pena to get help and deliberately either didn't use it, or obviously it's not helping. So they're letting that guy go because he's already a problem. But also with Jon Jones, yeah, he makes a lot of money, of course. So it's harder to let someone go like that. But also I don't know if they're even helping Jon Jones get better. I think maybe Jon Jones always just says, I'll take care of it. You know, but I don't know. Jon Jones isn't active. I wouldn't even worry about him right now. He's not active. If he was, if he had a fight lined up, I don't know if maybe then it would affect it. But he's not even fighting. He has no opponent. He's supposedly heavyweight. Is not signing any contracts for fights or anything at the moment. So I don't know if maybe that's why Dana White doesn't even care. He's not even on the radar right now, you know?
Very, very true. Very true. I do appreciate what Daniel Cormier had to say. And it said, from me to this guy, we'll never be friends, but human to human, you've got to get your shit right and show some remorse. And it's very true because I've gathered,
he said that
from what I've seen
times already. I don't care what
No, but it's also very true because from what I've observed is that Jon Jones has never been apologetic for what he's done. It's always, well, I got into some trouble, so I better stop drinking, or I better stop doing this or doing that. It's like, dude,
I don't think he cares.
I don't think he's had repercussions. That's why I think he
not
doesn't.
really.
He's like, meh.
I don't think he
And
cares
that
enough, to
sucks.
be honest. I
True.
don't think he cares enough because I think he thinks he can come back whenever he wants to shape up. And he will. I think he will shape up for whatever fight he's coming up for next. Now that he doesn't have a fight right now, I don't think he cares very much. So unless Dana White bans him from UFC, not ban him, but release him right now, maybe he might do something to take care of his issues. I mean, if he's still in the picture, I think he's like in limbo. I don't think he cares what he does right now because it doesn't matter. He doesn't have any fights lined up. So I don't think he cares. I don't know. Who knows? But DC has said a lot to him already. I'm kind of over it. It's happened a few times already. I don't care anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. It's unfortunate when you have a comparison of two fighters, but one is higher up on the totem pole for UFC, and Luis Pena is at the bottom.
I know, but he is at the bottom, though. He actually is at the bottom.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's easier to let someone go like that, especially if you're financially helping them do stuff to fix that issue, and if it's not getting fixed. But also, I don't know the details of that incident, but I feel like Dana White knew the details and that made his decision, but he didn't tell everyone what that was. It sounded like he knew what happened and it was really bad. Maybe that's why. Not to say what Jon Jones did was good or in any way, but I think something happened in that incident that he was like, whoa, screw this, I'm out,
I got you.
I want to know what happened.
And then there's the situation with Chuck Liddell, which I do find interesting, that he was like, I just went with the deputies just to help clear the situation.
Who knows? I saw that. Yeah, I don't know what the situation was there either, but I also don't know if that's the truth of what he's saying. It could be.
That's the most information that we've really received as it pertains to that incident. And hopefully everybody in these situations will get the help that they need in order to progress as better people, because like violence in a cage is one thing, but violence on a significant other or just outside of the competition is just
that has a lot to do with getting hit in the head all the time. I don't know if you noticed the NFL doing it, so I think that has a lot to do with it. I'm not surprised. It just is what it is. It's sad, but it is what it is.
No, you're right. It is sad, and it's sad when we have to talk about it and bring it up overall. But so many incidences have happened recently that this was something that we did need, that needs to be brought up more and more in conversations, I believe.
I guess, what are they going to do about it, though? I don't know. Maybe they should, I don't know what they do as far as what the fighters are inclined to getting as far as being a UFC fighter. Does that come with I know that probably comes with a psychiatrist at some point, because a lot of people talk about that. Maybe it should, if they really want to solve the problem, which I don't think they care enough to do, you can make it a requirement to go through some psychological test once in a while before you fight. Maybe you got to pass some kind of test
or maybe have a psychiatrist to at least help them and guide them. Like,
I think it's offered, but
I hope so.
Not everyone's going to take it unless they think they need it, but you got to be smart enough to know you need it. Half the people are not that smart.
That's a fact right there.
Yeah. I think it should be required. Maybe if you want to solve it, maybe make it a requirement to check in with someone once in a while rather than make it voluntary.
Is so almost like a USADA type thing, like a drug test. Like, all right, here's your psych eval, let's go.
I don't know, and I don't know how you would do that either, but maybe.
All right. Well, different situation. Now we're going to move on from that. We have Luke Rockhold, who is out of UFC 268.
Shocker.
He was supposed to fight Sean Strickland, but he said he sustained a back injury and he is withdrawn from his bout.
That sucks.
And he hasn't seen action since July of 2019.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it's been quite a while, and that card.
I thought he was done.
I thought so too. It looks like Sean Strickland will still probably have another opponent. It'll just be short notice. And
I heard a lot of people wanting to fight him too.
Yeah, why not? Like, if all these guys want to step up and take that, they got their under a month out now because that fight is going to take place on November 6th. The day before is LFA. We'll talk a little bit more about that later in the show. We have Usman versus Covington for the welterweight belt. We have that rematch for the strawweight title with Thug Rose. Michael Chandler versus Gage. Damn, I'm excited about this.
Ooh,
I knew about the title fights. I didn't realize the rest of this card. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
All right. I see you, UFC. They definitely need to find somebody for Strickland. I think all these guys want to step up. There's your chance.
Yeah.
That's
but
a
also
big chance.
Bobby Green versus Li Quinta could replace that spot though and be
Very true.
Yeah.
But still, it'd be nice to see Strickland fight.
I guess.
Meh.
I mean, yeah.
Because as a fighter, you can't tell me it's not disappointing when you've been training and you're ready for a fight, and then
that's crazy.
Everything drops off.
Oh yeah, they're definitely gonna try. I think they tried till the last minute.
Yeah.
But if they
hopefully
don't,
they'll figure it out.
If they don't,
if they do, I feel like they'll have it next week. They'll have the information about who Strickland's replacement will be.
I'm sure someone will take it to get on that fight card. I think someone will take it for sure.
Hopefully. All right. Also, as I discussed earlier with LFA, that's coming to Visalia November 5th. That would be a Friday. And from what I had seen on social media, it looks like Big Al's going to be competing on that card.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. So don't have an opponent for him. Just saw that on social media. That's all I know. So we got some local guys competing on that card in Visalia. Definitely going to be awesome. Can't wait to see who he's competing against and to find out more information, to see more of a complete fight card. I look forward to that. And then we also have Grappling X coming up in like 2 weeks at the end of October. So for all you grapplers out there, if you don't know about it, now you do. Most grapplers know about it, but still there are some people out there that don't know. We're here to inform you. That's what we're doing. Go ahead and check out their website. You can Google them. Google's a big thing, I've heard. It's great. Love Google. All right. And there was one thing that you wanted to talk about that you had mentioned as it pertained to how news is floated out there, because last week we discussed.
I think we kind of solved that problem, but I was going to say that I was getting conflicting stories from some new MMA news outlets that, what was his name? He passed away.
Justin Thornton.
Yeah, bare knuckle fighter, passed away. Yeah. And I mean, the first story I saw on him, why he passed away, was due to pneumonia or an infection, which I assumed was pneumonia because that's technically an infection in your lungs. You got all that fluid in there. But so I saw that and I'm like, okay, that sucks. But also I was seeing headlines saying, and people were talking about this incident as if he died from the fight that he had, which I'm like, I didn't see anything on that. I saw pneumonia, which, okay.
I feel like it was partially related to that.
Well, that's what you just said before. I'm like, okay, I didn't know that. Now it makes sense. But the articles definitely did not go into that detail. And I hear people commentating on it like, oh man, this looks really bad for fighting. This looks really bad for bare knuckle. That someone died from the fight, and like, he died from pneumonia. That's not from the fight. But I guess he had gotten paralyzed from his fight, which
it says reports state that Thornton was partially paralyzed after the fight, and he remained hospitalized for several weeks after the event took place, while also fighting off an infection from a spinal cord injury. In his previous fight, it only lasted 19 seconds, and he fell face first onto the canvas
due to a
he
punch?
was knocked out during a rapid fire exchange in the middle of the ring.
Okay.
So he dropped like a sack of potatoes from
I'm
my
just
understanding.
Did he get paralyzed from the punch? Like it knocked something around in his spine? Or, because this is a spinal cord injury, is that from the fight? Like,
is that from something else?
Yeah.
Did he fall and something happened?
He said he was partially paralyzed after the fight and remained hospitalized, but he said also fighting off an infection from a spinal cord. What was the spinal cord injury from? Was it from the fight? Was that it? Like, because I know you can get paralyzed from infections in your spinal cord as well.
Yeah.
So it's a little confusing, but I didn't know that part of it. So I'm like, why are people talking about it as if he died from the fight? I didn't know he got partially paralyzed from that fight. So I was a little confused.
So I think the one thing that we need as consumers and as essentially journalists in this forum is more clarity.
Yeah. Like, give us some, and if you don't have the details, maybe say you don't have the details.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a journalist, but some of you suck that do it. So
wow. I feel personally attacked.
As a
I'm
consumer,
try and have you canceled. I'm just kidding.
As a consumer, these mainstream journalism, some of them just suck.
No, you're right. There's a lot of just upstarts and guys that are not trained to be journalists.
They're trying to push a story that there wasn't all the details, so people are gonna be like, "Oh my God, fighting's so bad! Like, no one should do it. We shouldn't allow it anymore because people are dying from fighting." Well, it's like, okay, well, did he die?
No, that's ridiculous. As somebody who's covered MMA since 2008,
a lot of stuff being in the hospital. You know, I don't know.
as someone who's covered MMA as long as I have, I still love it. It has not changed. I've heard about fighters dying in the ring. I've heard about tremendous injuries happening. I still want to see it. I still want to know about it. I want to learn about it. Like, it has not changed my view at all. Like, to me, one of the more tragic stories was Kevin Randleman, who had from what I recall, was a severe staph infection. And this guy was a UFC legend.
Mm-hmm.
He had a severe staph infection that finally did him in. And that's super unfortunate because this guy was one of the greats.
Right,
but that has not changed.
He died from staph, not fighting.
Very true.
Well, he got the infection
hand in hand
or something, but you know,
it wasn't. I can't say it was directly associated from an MMA fight, but we don't know. But he contracted a serious. It was staph or MRSA. I mean,
either one's terrible.
And he died from it. And so when you do hear about a fighter dying, regardless, it does affect the industry as a whole, because at one point they were trying to make it sound like MMA was the safest form of combat sports because you could take it to the ground and you could use jiu-jitsu compared to boxing, where you would literally just stand there and punch each other in the face.
Right. Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
It's still a combat sport. Yeah. Stuff happens, but for some people that want to cancel it because that's their thing, you do you. But I'm going to keep enjoying it.
Cancel the way people feel about it that already love it. I think the people that love it understand that happens. Like, that's probably what I mean. I love fighting because it's a certain level of excitement that you can't replace by something else. Like,
very true.
Like, when you go into a ring or an octagon or whatever, like, who knows what's going to happen in the next 10, 15 minutes? You don't know. You don't know if you're going to win. You don't know if you're going to lose. You don't know if you're going to go to the hospital and potentially be paralyzed, have your legs taken out, break a leg, whatever. You don't know what's going to happen.
I do know this. If I ever went into a cage, I'm pretty sure I would get beat up because I have all of that much talent when it comes to fighting. So... yeah.
You know,
you might hear me like and run around, but I'm like, you know what? I'll eat the punch.
Yeah. Well, don't go into that.
I mean, let's be real. No one's trying to get me for a fight. Let's just be honest about that.
Yeah, no, but I think that's why the people that do like fighting enjoy that type of excitement at some level. You know, I haven't really met anyone that says they love fighting, but is, you know, talking about how dangerous it is and like, oh, you shouldn't do that. They're usually like, yeah, man, let's go. You know.
Now, I do understand, you know, we understand that there is a level of danger to it. There's a level of danger, but also equals excitement. But yet that doesn't
get out of it is insane.
Exactly. But that doesn't change the fact that we are fight fans.
Yeah.
So
it's not going to change. So stop trying to cancel it. Thank you.
Right.
Yeah.
So there we go. And that's reporters do better. Try harder.
A little bit.
That's all.
But if you don't have the details, maybe explain that you don't. And that's
exactly as we'll report as details come out. Hey, look, I just solved your problem.
Wait, but
I just wrote that for you. You're welcome.
Yeah, and I don't know if maybe they just don't want to put that because I don't know if that hurts their article. It probably does.
No,
I
if
don't.
they're reporting information and facts as they come out, that's something they should say, because then as they get the new information, they can update their stories.
Yeah, I just get super. I've been seeing a lot of articles lately about MMA and maybe even just in general, articles in general, but especially MMA. It's like you halfway explained a situation and now I want more, and I'm pissed that you didn't explain it. So now I'm just irritated rather than not knowing the whole thing at all.
But the thing is they only have so much, and they're a good reporter. They will report what they have,
Yeah.
and then it's basically that this is what we have right now. Check back later, and hopefully we'll have
That
some more
would be
information.
perfectly fine. I'd be like, oh, there's more to this story that
Exactly.
So I'm gonna keep checking in on it. And even if I see that same company post something, I'm gonna go there first because I saw something from them earlier, and I'm like, oh, maybe it's an update.
Yeah, that's the information that where you got it originally.
Some of them
I get it.
piss me off to where I don't even want to read any of their stuff anymore. I won't say who, but I see them a lot all day. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, whatever, and I see all these articles from particular companies that are out there, and I'm just like, oh, what garbage, dude.
Unfortunately. So
I don't know if that's the way in other sports, because I don't read articles about other sports very much, because MMA is my favorite.
I feel like that's how it should be in general regarding, it doesn't matter if you're reporting information. It doesn't matter if it's sports, if it's news, if it's A, B, C, or D.
Sure.
That's what you should do. Because I think a big problem too is a lot of places are in this, they feel like they need to rush to get to be first.
So I know that they get a reward out of how many clicks they get on there, and I know if you put a juicy headline, they're going to click on it. But man, like, oh, that just pisses me off. It's like, yeah, you got your click, but you gave me nothing, and potentially I won't read your stuff ever again.
True.
Well, this is coming from a consumer's viewpoint. If they care to please the consumers, I think it'd be a good idea to maybe add that little, thing in there at the end of the article saying, hey, not the end of this story. Check back later.
But the thing is also too, depending, like, as somebody who works in news, to keep up with that update, because sometimes, I'm going to be honest, we have stories that we've ran and we talk about how we're going to update them later, and guess what? Nothing. Maybe there's nothing new to report. So then, I mean, I can understand that, but not very often. Usually there's more to it.
I feel news is pretty general, but if you're MMA news, you
are more of a specific,
Yeah. I don't know, just a suggestion.
But you're right, for that should be updated. Those stories should be updated to completion.
Yeah, if they could. I mean, sometimes you don't know, and it takes a long time, especially with a death, to get details. That's going to take a very long time, especially when they don't know the cause initially. You gotta wait for autopsy type of things, details like that.
Then you can even put that out. We'll have more information once an autopsy has been completed, if they decide to go that route.
Yeah.
And if they don't, then it's pretty much, it's over right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So no, I just want to bring that up because I've been seeing a lot of that lately, and it's really annoying. And I'm tempted to take off some of them. Like, I want to not block, but just unfollow certain companies on Facebook or Instagram, because all they do is put out garbage most of the time.
Yeah.
And I feel like they try to push something that's not a part of the story, I don't know.
Like, basically, here's the story, but they want to bring in like a third party to jazz it up.
They push their feelings into the article because they don't like something, so they're going to make it sound terrible, even though there's nothing.
Well, that's also a problem. Is you do have a lot of people that. Okay, so I want to say I may have heard this on Rogan. I thought it was very valid as somebody who's been a reporter and been considered a journalist for quite some time. There are people now that back in the day, you didn't have personalities when reporting news. And this goes for just about any type of news. You didn't have, they reported the news, that was it. Now you have people that are personalities and want to put in their 2 cents, when it's like, I don't need your 2 cents. I just want to know what happened.
At that point, yeah. And I know everyone has their own opinions, and I know there are reporters that make money off of being themselves. I know
That
some
they
of the,
do.
like Stephen A. Smith, he's known for how he is, but also he's on ESPN and stuff like that. So he's made it to where he can do that, and you know what you're getting into when you watch a show. But with these articles and these companies that you don't see their face, they're not reporting their news on TV. They're just putting out statements, articles. You don't know who's writing it. They just have the company name and whoever the publisher is. I don't know. But it's like you could push whatever narrative agenda, whatever you want to call it, out there. But I think it's pretty easy to see it right away. And it's like, okay, so you're not really trying to give me what happened. You're trying to make me feel the way you feel. And, if you don't agree, it's just going to piss you off, It's like, well, why don't you just tell me what happened here and I'll decide for myself rather than telling me, just giving me this bad part of this because you want me to feel the way you feel about it. I don't know. I kind of just wanted to open the article to read the story to know information about what happened instead of, oh, how do you feel about it? I don't care. I just want to know what happened.
All you want is facts. And I completely understand that.
Facts.
Same
there
here. When I read about something, if I want to hear somebody's interpretation, I'll go and listen to it in a podcast. The Fighter and the Kid, Joe Rogan, the DC podcast. Like I'll go to that. Yeah. But when I'm looking up an article, I don't know this person from Adam. So I just want to get the facts. Yeah. And hopefully what they're reporting is correct.
Yeah, I mean, I think they could get in some big trouble if they spread straight out lies. Food, so they can't go that far, but they can be pretty vague and put their opinion in there at the same time to where it's just a little annoying.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, man, there's this one that just irritates me so much. And I'm not a journalist, so I can't really talk shit. But
I can.
They suck, man.
Put it out there. Who?
Bloody Elbow.
Oh, yeah, we've discussed that before.
Yeah, I brought it up before, but they're getting worse.
And that's not good. But, I mean, a lot of people do it to get clicks.
Unfollowed them, though. Because I do like to just see what's going on. Because sometimes I'll take their headline and be like, oh, something's going on with this, and I'll look elsewhere to get the facts.
Well, there you go. That helps. Yeah, you do more of an involved search to find out the information rather than
like, oh,
relying on one source.
Yeah, they're not really going to tell me what's going on. They're just, I got to look harder,
Very true. All right. Is there anything else you want to add? Anything else going on?
No. Not this week.
Okay. Maybe next week.
Maybe.
All right, folks. Thank you for joining us on this edition of the MMA Mainstream Podcast. And we will see you guys next time. Have a good one.